Hi students, I welcome to all of you to this session of fluid machinery. Dear students, we were discussing the hydraulic turbine where Francis turbine and Pelton turbine have been discussed in last few class. You have seen, I hope, and this is the continuation of the previous lecture. In this lecture, we will be discussing about the numerical analysis of radial flow reaction turbine and axial flow reaction turbine. The working principle of axial flow reaction turbine will be discussed here. So myself Dhiraj Mondal, I welcome to all of you to this YouTube, to my YouTube channel DM Study Center, and I am very happy to see that all of you are following my lecture religiously. So in this lockdown situation, as we all of you know that we are just the JIS College of Engineering, we have taken this initiative कोरोना से लड़ाई घर से पढ़ाई. So let us discuss what we are going to what is our today's topic, that is your numerical analysis and the Kaplan turbine, that is your axial flow reaction turbine. So first of all, this homework was given to you. So let us discuss this homework first of all. You can see the question. First of all, go through the question. The following data is given for the Francis turbine. Net head age is equal to 60 meter. Speed given 700 rpm. Shaft power also given 294.3 kilowatt. Overall efficiency 84%, that means 0.84. Hydraulic efficiency 0.93. Flow ratio means your Vf1 by root over 2gis, that is your absolute velocity. So 0.2. Okay. Flow ratio also given 0.2. Breadth ratio means your B1 by D1. Breadth ratio is equal to N is equal to what? B by D, you know breadth ratio, and it is equal to 0.1. Outer diameter of the runner 2 into inner diameter. So outer diameter is equal to 2 into inner diameter, okay, of the runner. The thickness of vanes occupy 5% of circumferential area of the runner. Okay. So this thickness is also given. It is basically occupying the circumferential, the thickness of vane, where it is, the thickness of vanes occupy 5% of the circumferential area of the runner. Okay, and you can see the thickness is 5% of the circumferential area of the runner is your pi d1 v1, because 2 pi r1 into v1. So pi r1 is equal r1 is equal to d1 by 2. So ultimately pi d1 v1 is the circumference. So 0.95 into pi d1 v1, that is the actual area of the flow. Clear? Velocity of flow is constant at inlet and outlet, and discharge is radial. So velocity of flow means your Vf1 is equal to Vf2. Okay, so velocity of flow is constant. Next, determine the guide blade angle, this diameter of the runner at the inlet and outlet, and runner vane angles at inlet and outlet, and width of the wheel at inlet. So these are the 4 questions which has been asked. So let us discuss. First of all, net head given, N given, shaft power given, overall efficiency given, hydraulic efficiency given. Flow ratio, you know that Vf1 by root over 2gis, that is your 0.2. So from this equation you can easily find out Vf1 because H is given. Now breadth ratio you can find out B1 by D1. So D1 is equal to what? 2 into D2, that is your D1 is the outer diameter and D2 is the inner diameter. Okay, so sorry, d1 is equal to 2 into inner diameter. So, that is the d2 is the inner diameter. So ultimately this is the relation between diameter 1 and diameter 2, that is your inner and outer diameter. Okay, now next point, breadth ratio it is given. So sorry, vf1 is equal to vf2, that is your 6 point, already I have got 6.8 meter per second. Now the thickness is 5% of the circumferential area, that means you have to deduct this 5%, that means 0.95 into pi d1 v1, that is the actual area. Okay, so area is equal to pi d1 minus 0.5 minus 5% of the circumferential area. Okay, vw2 is equal to 0. Why it is 0? Because it is radial at outlet. The flow is radial at outlet, so vf2 is equal to v2. So from this velocity triangle, again we can discuss, this one is your v1, it is your vr1, vf1, vw1, u1, and as it is 90 degree beta, so it is your vf2 as well as v2, and this is your u2, this one is your vr2, and this one is your phi. Now see here, overall efficiency, we know that it is basically the ratio of shaft power by water power, and overall efficiency given, shaft power given, we can find out easily water power. Why we are going to find out water power? That I am discussing afterward. You see the water power is this, and the water power is equal to what? W into H by 1000. Remember, as it is reaction turbine, so water power is equal to W into H by 1000. Sometime if it is given impulse turbine, then suddenly if you are going to calculate the hydraulic efficiency, so hydraulic efficiency is runner power by water power. So water power, sometime you may take half mv square, that is your kinetic energy at the inlet of the turbine. So that is another thing. So and here basically you have to calculate, you know that W into H, and H is also given, W is equal to, we can write m into g, and m into g means rho into q into g, because mass flow rate it is. So rho is, it is known, g you know, q you have to find out, H is known. So ultimately from this equation you can find out discharge. So you know that this is your discharge, 0.59 meter cube per second. Now the q is equal to actual area into velocity of flow, and actual area is what? 0.95 pi d1 v1 into velocity of flow, also it is given. So from this equation you know that b1 is what? N is equal to b1 by d1. Clear? Now b1 is equal to, we can write, and also it is given what? It is given 0.1. So from this equation you can find, right, b1 is equal to 0.1 into d1. So that is written here, you can see. So 0.95, okay, pi you know, d1 I have to find out, and v1 is, it can be written as 0.1 into d1, because this equation from the given data you can write this one, and vf2 also you know 6.8 meter per second. So from this equation just solve the problem, you will be getting 0.54 meter. So 0.54 meter is the diameter, inlet diameter, that means your d1. Clear? So remember, this is your vein, so ultimately this is your r1, this is the wheel, this is your r1. So r1 means it is your d by 2. Okay, so the diameter at the inlet is your 0.54 meter. Now as we know that v1 by d1 is equal to 0.1, so we can easily find out v1, because d1 already I have got right now. Now it's time to find out the inlet velocity of the runner. Okay, inlet, that means the tangential speed of the runner or wheel speed. Okay, u1 is equal to pi d1 n by 60, you know. So d1 you know, n you know, so you can find out u1. Why I am going, why I have calculated u1? Because we need to find out the vane angles, and as we know that this is a velocity triangle at the outlet, this one is a theta, sorry, this one is a phi, and this is your U2, and this one is your VR2, this is your VF2. So how you can find out tan phi? Tan phi is equal to your VF2 by U2. Okay, by U2. So you know VF2 because VF1 is equal to VF2, and U2 you have to find out to get the phi. But here basically I am going to find out the tan phi. So tan phi, tan phi is equal to, you can see from the triangle, tan phi is equal to VF2 by VW1 minus U1, and you know V1 is given, alpha is not given. Oh, it's alpha, it's not given. So you have to calculate first of all alpha. So here you can see hydraulic efficiency is equal to VW1 U1 by GH. So from this equation hydraulic efficiency is given, so you can find out VW1. So VW1 you can find out, as you have got VW1, so this V1 you know, VW1 you know. Can I find out alpha? Because we know that sin alpha, cos alpha is equal to VW1 by V1. So you can find out, so or you can write tan alpha also. So cos alpha or tan alpha, anything else, anything you can find out the alpha from this velocity triangle, that is a 13.9 degree. Okay, as you have got alpha, then you can easily find out the theta. Okay, so tan theta is what? This is your velocity triangle. Again I am drawing V1, this is your VR1, this is your VF1, this one is your VW1, and this one is your VU1, this is your alpha, and this is your theta. So tan theta I can write VF1 by this total minus this, isn't it? So VW1 minus U1 is the tan theta. So all the value you have got previously. Okay, so 49.09 degrees is the answer, that is your theta. Clear? Now you have to find out the phi, and you know that U2 is equal to pi d2 n by 60. Okay, pi d2 n by 60, and there is a relation d2 is equal to d1 by 2. The relation is given, and you know that d1 also I have got. So you just put the value of d1, you will be getting the answer. Clear? So this is the 9.8 meter per second is the U2. Now the tan phi is equal to what? Tan phi is equal to, this is your velocity triangle at outlet, tan phi is equal to, this is your U2, this is your VF2, this is the phi. So VF2 by U2 is the tan phi. So put the value of VF2 and U2, you will be getting phi is equal to 34.7, that is your 34.44 degree. Okay, so 34.74 degree. Okay, now d1 is the inlet diameter is equal to 0.94, d2 is the d2 is equal to just simply d1 by 2, that is your 0.27, and b1 is equal to 54 mm. Clear? So this is the width of the wheel at the inlet. So I hope it is clear. So let us discuss today's topic, that is your axial flow reaction turbine. So axial flow reaction turbine, it is basically turbine where the flow of water is axially, it is the water is flowing axially. Okay, basically if the water flows parallel to the axis of the rotating shaft, if this shaft is rotating like this and the water is flowing parallel to the rotation of the shaft, then the turbine is known as axial flow turbine. Clear? Now if the energy available at the inlet of the turbine, kinetic energy as well as pressure energy, then it will be called reaction turbine. So the axial, that means if the water flows axially, that means if it is the shaft, it is rotating like this and the water is flowing axially or parallel to the shaft, rotation of the shaft, and also available energy at the inlet of the turbine is kinetic energy as well as pressure energy, then the turbine is known as axial flow reaction turbine. Okay, clear? Now this is your one. There are mainly two types of reaction turbine, axial flow reaction turbine. One is your propeller turbine, another is your Kaplan turbine. Clear? Now in this lecture we will be discussing about the Kaplan turbine. So Kaplan turbine and propeller turbine, what is the difference between Kaplan and propeller turbine? It is basically the vane. Here you can see this is the vane which is adjusted on the hub. This vane is adjustable in case of Kaplan turbine, but in case of propeller turbine it is totally fixed. Okay, that means in the half, when vane is adjustable, then the turbine is known as Kaplan turbine. That means you may change the angle, or you may change the vane angle also. Okay, as it is not fixed. But in case of propeller turbine, it is totally ready-made or fixed, already manufactured. Okay, and in case of Kaplan turbine, we can adjust it in for our desired work or for our comfortability. We can check it. We can change it. Now, as you can see, this is the Kaplan turbine runner, where you can see this one is a shaft. This is called hub or boss. Okay, and this is your vane. This one is your vane, and this is your, this you can adjust. Okay, so there, here you can adjust, or you can tighten, or that means this vane can be adjusted according to our need. Okay, now the Kaplan turbine, there are mainly 4 components of the Kaplan turbine. Okay, now here you can see here the components of the Kaplan turbine. 4 components are there. Number 1 is your scroll casing. Number 2, guide vane mechanism. Number 3, hub with vane or runner of the turbine. Number 3 is your hub with vane and runner to the turbine, runner of the turbine. And number 4, very very important, that is your draft tube. So these are the 4 components: scroll casing, guide vane mechanism, hub with vanes or runner of the turbine, and number 4 is your draft tube. Now let us discuss one by one what is the function of that particular components. So as you can see in this picture, this part is called your draft tube. This part is called draft tube. Now what is the function of draft tube? I am coming afterward. This part is one draft tube, and this is your, this one you can see scroll casing. Okay, this is your guide vane. This one is your shaft. This is your boss. In the boss, the vane is adjusted. Clear? Now this one is your tail race. The water is coming out in this tail race from traveling water from the turbine blade. Okay, and this is your, up to this much the runner or the blade is traveling. Clear? Now first of all, what is the function of the scroll casing? Basically scroll casing, it is some, you can say it is one kind of water reservoir. And in the scroll casing, the water is basically reserved here, and to get the smooth flow of water through this guide vane, the water is allowed to flow. So guide vane mechanism, basically it provides the water according to our need. That means you can say that simply the flow regulation arrangement, you can say the water is how much water is needed, So according to the guide band you can guide it, you can regulate it. And in scroll casing, the first of all from the reservoir the water is coming here in the scroll casing and it is supplying water according to the need. Now you can see hub with vein. Hub with vein means this is your hub, this one is your hub with vein. So in the hub the vein is adjusted like vein is installed like this. So hub, what is the function of the hub? Basically the vein are adjusted or vein are installed in the hub, and this one is a shaft like this. The shaft is rotating. As the shaft is rotating, the hub is rotating, the or the vein is rotating, the shaft will be rotating. That means the shaft will be in rotation. Okay. Now what happened? The water is coming here and it is basically entering like this, and shaft is rotating like this. Okay. So shaft is rotating in the y-axis, you can say, and the water is flowing in the y-axis. Okay, so water is flowing, and as a result the shaft is rotating. Now this is your outer diameter, this one is your boss diameter or half diameter up to this much, and this total it is your traveling distance of the vein. So this is your outer diameter. Clear? So what is the area? Pi by 4 d naught square minus db square. Clear? So this is the area. So to get the discharge, you know the area into velocity. So area is the pi by 4 d naught square minus dv square into vf1. As you know, velocity of flow will be taken under consideration. That is why you can write this. So outer diameter d naught, b is the diameter of the hub, vf1 is the velocity of flow at inlet. So I think this diagram is it is basically clear. And this is your draft tube. What is the function of draft tube? The draft tube is basically used to produce pressure energy with the expense of kinetic energy. You know that at the outlet of the turbine, the pressure available at the outlet of the turbine is basically vacuum pressure. Okay. So vacuum pressure means your negative gas pressure or pressure less than atmospheric pressure. So it will be not easy to go out. The water cannot easily go out from the outlet of the turbine. That is why the draft tube is installed at the outlet of the turbine, and the draft tube basically it is gradually increasing area, and we will see that this whatever the pressure here, that pressure will be increased. That means with the expense of kinetic energy, the pressure head, if the pressure head is your P1 by rho g and here it is your P2 by rho g, then we will see that P2 by rho g is greater than P1 by rho g, because whatever the kinetic energy available at the inlet of the draft tube or outlet of the turbine, that will be converted into pressure energy. So as a result the water is coming out from the turbine. Clear? So this is one function of the draft tube. Another function is that it is basically increasing the net head of the turbine. Okay. So I think it is clear. Some important points I have to discuss here. Basically u1 is equal to u2 is equal to pi d naught n by 60. Here d naught is the outer diameter. Okay. If you want to find out the wheel speed or peripheral velocity at inlet and outlet. And in one more assumption, vf1 is equal to vf2, discharge you know pi by 4 d naught square minus dv square. So this is your homework, this is your assignment, and 18.27 this assignment is given to you. Solve it in your home, and you have to submit it to my official mail dhiraj.mondol@jscollege.ac.in, and this lecture will be available in my YouTube channel, that is your DM Study Center, or you can avail it through the Canvas portal. Now you can see whatever the assignment given to you, that you have to submit. And if you want to get everyday notification, because every day I am just uploading one lecture on Constitution of India and as well as in fluid machinery. So first of all see the lecture, then write in the comment section, write down done sir. Okay, and after that you will be given some assignment, and to get notification you just press the subscribe the channel and press the bell icon, otherwise you can't get any kind of notification. Okay, so I hope it is clear. Thank you for listening.